Welcome. I'm going to do some auspiciousness, invoke auspiciousness with some mantras. And the mantras that I'm going to chant is a first mantra of the Srimad Bhagavatam, which is offering our obeisances to the all-pervading personality of Godhead Vasudeva. And you can repeat after me, people who are in person, you can repeat after me. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya.
So today we are going to continue, like last Wednesday, I read from a verse from the second chapter of the Bhagavad Gita, verse 40, that's telling us that every effort we put towards God consciousness, every small effort, it matters and it never disappears. When we put effort towards anything material, all those efforts are going to disappear because we are going to disappear as, the conditioned soul. While any effort put towards spiritual life, because they are connected with our eternal part of us, then they're also eternal. So we are going to continue with text 41. I thought, okay, let's go to 41 because it's also a major verse from the Bhagavad Gita. So I'm going to say one Sanskrit word at a time, and you can repeat after me. Vyavasayatmika Buddhi Eka Ia Kurunandana Baushaka Ananta Cha Buddhaya Avyavasainam Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kunandana Baushaka Yanantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana Baushaka Yanantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. One more time. Vyavasayatmika Buddhir Ekeha Kurunandana Baushaka Yanantascha Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. We just arrived. We are reading from chapter 2, text 41. Who would like to chant the Sanskrit first in person? Anyone would like to chant?
Sure. Vyavasayatmika Buddhir
Vyavasayatmika Buddhir
Ekeha Kurunandana
Ekeha Kurunandana
Bahushaka Hyanantascha
Baushaka Yanantascha
Buddhayo Vyavasainam.
Buddhayo Vyavasayinam. Someone else in person would like to say the verse? Someone online would like to say the verse?
Vyavasayatmika buddhir
Vyavasayatmika buddhir
ekeha kurunandana
ekeha kurunandana
bahusaka hyanantasya
paushakayanantascha
buddhayo vyavasayinam.
buddhayo vyavasayinam. Anyone else would like to chant the verse?
Sure, I'll try it too.
Okay, Nick.
Vyavasayatmiki buddhir
Vyavasayatmika buddhir
ikiha kurunandana
ekeha kurunandana
bahasakya hi anantascha
paushakayanantascha
buddhayo vyasvasyanyanam.
buddhayo vyavasayinam. Thank you. Anyone else? Okay, now we can do the word-for-word translation, one word at a time. Vyavasayatmika,
Vyavasayatmika,
resolute Krishna consciousness.
resolute Krishna consciousness.
Buddhi,
Buddhi,
intelligence.
intelligence.
Eka,
Eka,
only one.
only one.
Iha,
Iha,
in this world.
in this world.
Kurunandana,
Guru Nandana,
O beloved child of the cause.
all knowledge child of you.
Paushaka,
Bahushaka,
various branches.
various branches.
E,
E,
indeed.
indeed.
Ananta,
Ananta,
unlimited.
unlimited.
Cha,
Cha,
also.
also.
Buddhaya,
Buddhaya,
intelligence.
intelligence.
Avyavasayinam,
Avyavasayinam.
of those who are not in Krishna consciousness.
Of those who are not in Krishna consciousness.
Translation. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the cause, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. Purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada. A strong faith in Krishna consciousness that one should be elevated to the highest perfection of life is called Vyavasayatmika, intelligence. The Chaitanya Charitamrita states, Shradashabde Vishaya Kahe Shuri Danishchaya Krishna Bhakti Kaila Sarva Karma Kritahoy. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. Is that a succinct definition? How powerful. Faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. When one is engaged in the duty of Krishna consciousness, he need not act in relation to the material world with obligations to family tradition, humanity, or nationality. Fructive activities are the engagement of one's reaction from past good or bad deeds. When one is awake in Krishna consciousness, he need no longer endeavor for good result of his activities. When one is situated in Krishna consciousness, all activities are on the absolute plane. When they are no longer subject to dualities like good and bad. The highest perfection of Krishna consciousness is renunciation of the material conception of life. This state is automatically achieved by progressive Krishna consciousness. The resolute purpose of a person in Krishna consciousness is based on knowledge. Vasudeva Savamiti Samahatma Sudurlabha, by which one comes to know perfectly that Vasudeva Krishna is the root of all manifested causes. As water on the root of a tree is automatically distributed to the leaves and branches, in Krishna consciousness, one can render the highest service to everyone, namely self, family, society, country, humanity, etc. If Krishna is satisfied by one's action, then everyone will be satisfied. Service in Krishna consciousness is, however, best practiced under the able guidance of a spiritual master with a bona fide representative of Krishna, who knows the nature of the student and who can guide him to act in Krishna consciousness. As such, to be well-versed in Krishna consciousness, one has to act firmly and obey the representative of Krishna, and one should accept the instruction of the bona fide spiritual master as one's mission in life. Srila Vishwanath Chakravarti Thakur instructs us in his famous prayer to the spiritual master as follows: Yasha Prashadat Bhagavat Prashado Yasya Prashadana Gati Kutopi Yayam Stuvam Stasya Yashastri Sandhyam Vande Guru Shri Charana Ravindam. By satisfaction of the spiritual master, the Supreme Personality of Godhead becomes satisfied. And by not satisfying the spiritual master, there is no chance of being promoted to the plane of Krishna consciousness. I should therefore meditate and pray for his mercy 3 times a day and offer my respectful obeisances unto him, my spiritual master. The whole process, however, depends on perfect knowledge of the soul beyond the conception of the body, not theoretically, but practically. When there is no longer a chance of sense gratification manifested in fruitive activities, one who is not firmly fixed in mind is diverted by various types of fruitive act. I'm going to recite a few more mantras invoking auspiciousness. You can find those mantras at the beginning of the introduction to the Bhagavad Gita. You can follow along if you wish to. Om Gyanatimirandasya Gyanachala Shalakaya Shakshun Miletandhyena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Shtapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Upakadamaya Dadati Swapadam Tikam Vandeham Shri Guru Shiyuta Padakamalam Shri Guru Vaishnavamsha Shri Rupam Sagrajatam Sahagana Ragunatam Vitam Tam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savajutam Parijana Saita Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padam Sahagana Lalita Shri Vishakam Vitam Cha E Krishna Karuna Sindhu Dina Bandhu Jagat Pate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Hada Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurange Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Hari Priye Vangsha Kalpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindhubhya Evacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namaha Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadada Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Namam Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimati Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine Namaste Sarasvate Deve Gauravani Pacharine Nirvisesha Shunyavadi Pastyachari Jatari. Hare Krishna. Thank you for being here. So, by the grace of my spiritual master, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, I'm going to endeavor to speak something about this verse. Hopefully, whatever we are going to speak is going to be supportive of your process of self-realization and spiritual realization. So I will speak for a little while, expressing my realization, understanding of the purport and the verse. And then after that, I will open for a conversation, question, comment, realization. Before I do that, I want to read again the verse. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kuru, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many branch. I'm going to go back 2 verses. So before we arrive to that segment of the Bhagavad Gita, Krishna have explained to Arjuna the nature of the soul who is eternal, the soul that cannot be cut, that cannot be weathered by wind, that cannot be dissolved by water, the soul that is all pervading in the body, the soul that everlasting, all existing, and the soul that is amazing. And we said the soul is amazing. So we are amazing. Everyone is amazing because we are really the soul. And the core of the knowledge of Sankhya philosophy is to understand that I am not this body. And everything before that in chapter 2 is like bounding home, that dehinosmin yatade ko mahamyo vanamjaha tatadiranta pratya dirastratan amuyati. As the embodied soul pass in this body from boyhood to youth to old age, similarly, the soul at the time of death go to another body. So we are changing body all the time. And the tendency of the soul in a conditioned state is to identify with the body, to identify, this is me, I am this body, I am this little cartoon character, I am this person, like called Mary Glashin, Malini Devidasi, I'm 61, I was born in France, I have such and such parents, such and such education, I have opinions about certain things, I have things that I like and I have things that I dislike. All that has nothing to do with who we are. But that's what we tend to identify ourselves with and think this is I. But that I didn't exist. Like I'm 61, let's say 63 years ago. That I didn't exist 63 years ago. And 63 years from now, that I that I call Marie Glashin Malini Devidasi, a French lady who, whatever, have a shaved, whatever, is not going to exist either. However, there is an eternal component. There is a component within myself that have been there since time immemorial, before I entered this body that I call me now. And that is going to continue to move on after this body. That is the real I, the real foundation of my existence. Without that spark of that spiritual spark, there will be no foundation for my existence. There will be like life is recognized by 6 changes. We recognize life by 6 changes. And the 6 changes are birth, something is born, and then growth. So for example, you can say this table here there is a table underneath the computer, is born, but there is no growth. So there's no soul here. So we can, if those 6 changes are not there, then it's not life, it's inert. So there is birth, there is growth, there is maintenance, there is creating byproduct. The table is not going to create baby tables, not. But human being can do that, roaches can do that, grass can do that, can create babies. So production of byproducts is also a sign of the life force, the existence of the soul, the existence of the souls that give everything existence, really. And then dwindling, and then death. So that's okay, so when we see that, we see, okay, that's the life force entering a body and moving through time and through the three modes of material nature, moving that body for what purpose? For the purpose of realizing self-realization, evolution from one body to another. It says that in the universe there is 8,400,000 species of life. And all those species of life are kind of dwellings or apartments that the soul get to enter according to what? According to their desire and according to their past activity. So desire and deserve will create where we land. And I landed in that body. You know, often I thought in my life, like, I would have preferred to land somewhere else, because that's what we do, isn't it? We think, oh, my vehicle is not good. I want to be someone else. I want to be prettier, or I want to be more intelligent or more famous, or I want to be wealthier or be born in more aristocratic family, or whatever. You know, we always complain about the dwelling, not understanding that this dwelling is there for a reason and that there is no mistake in the universe. So wherever we landed, in a sense, is knowing like, okay, that's my vehicle and it's full of imperfection and it's full of limitation. And I am not the vehicle, I'm the driver. I'm a driver of the vehicle. I'm the soul within. And I'm going to take that vehicle and move forward in my journey with determination. Ekeha Kurunandana. Here we are reading Ekeha. Eke means one pointed attention. With one pointed attention, I'm going to take my vehicle and move where I want to go. And that's the buddhi, the intelligence that's directed towards the purpose of human life. So until then, in that part of the second chapter, there is that description of the soul and the nature of the soul, and how, you know, nothing, even fire, cannot kill the soul. In fact, Srila Prabhupada, Sipa Bhaktivedanta Swami, described like there is life in fire. And recently, scientists discovered, oh, there is life in fire, because there is living entity who can have a body of fire. There is 5 gross elements. The grossest element is earth, and earth is heavy, dense. And then the other one is water. It's already less heavy, less dense. And then we have fire and air and ether. And living entities can manifest in different forms and take those forms according to those 3 gross elements. And some will be more earthian, some may be more with fire, some more like made of air or ether. You know, ether, like we'll say, like entities we cannot see, entities that we cannot see but are there. They're ethereal entities. So that's what's happened here. And then in text 39, Krishna says, thus far, I have declared to use analytical knowledge of Sankhya philosophy. So that's the quality of the soul, the fact that we are not this soul, that we are not this body, we are the soul, and that the soul is indestructible. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one walks without footing result. So that's where Krishna is going. Now he explained who we are the soul, and now we are moving towards, okay, how to walk in such a way that it's not for footing result. Last night I had a call. I was asked to do a Q&A for a group of coaches that just completed their training as coaches. So I have done coaching for 20 years, so I had something to share that they wanted me to share. And then we did speak about that. We did speak that there is a difference between expertise and process and result. And we gave an example. For example, according to my karma, I may never become wealthy, for example. But maybe because I was determined, I spent a lot of time studying how to be wealthy. And I put a lot of energy there. So even so I don't have a result per se, I have knowledge and I know a process. And that knowledge and process, I can give it to others. So where it's not about fruitive result, because in the Bhagavad Gita in chapter 3, it's very clear that we are not entitled to the result of our work. We're just not. We are just in illusion that we are. But there is no guarantee. And in fact, there is very little cause and effect. We just imagine cause and effect to be there. We just imagine, because every day I go to my 8 to 5 jobs, that's why I am maintained. That's why I receive whatever is in my bank account. That's why I receive my house and the food in my plate. And that's what we are conditioned to believe through illusion. However, I know many people who work 8 to 5 who don't have much money at all. And I know many people who don't work 8 to 5 and who are very wealthy. So then we are looking at, okay, is it a real cause and effect? Or is it something we imagine to be there? Because the elephant in the jungle, Srila Prabhupada, he likes to give that example. He said, the elephant in the jungle, they don't go to the office to work 8 to 5. And still they eat a ton of food every day. Where is that sustenance coming from? And our sustenance comes from the same place. And our sustenance is coming to us according to our karma. We have our own quota. And of course, that doesn't mean that we are supposed to be lazy. That doesn't mean that we need to be irresponsible. Quite the opposite. You're not entitled to the result of your work and to live a successful life. Do your prescribed duty. Do your duty according to your psychophysical nature. Act. Do what you're supposed to do. In that situation, Arjuna is asked to act as a kshatriya, because it's psychophysical nature to be a kshatriya. So he's acting as a kshatriya. And in this situation, Krishna showed him the result. However, the result is not the reason he's going to fight. He's going to fight because as a matter of duty, as a nature, it's my nature. The soul is always active. It's also described in the 3rd chapter that the nature of the soul is to be active. So we cannot not be active. So as a soul, we are going to act, and we are going to act as long as we are conditioned according to our conditioning. And as we act, understanding that the fruit of our action is not depending on our action, we let go of the fruit of action, and in such a way we act, and we act Dharmasyanyus titat pumsam vikshvasena katasuya. Like we are, all occupational activity are ultimately made for a liberation. So everything we do, we can do it for liberation. I remember as a young woman, I really didn't have much direction. And I remember trying jobs, odd jobs. Like at one point I was cleaning offices. I knew it wasn't my psychophysical nature to be a cleaning lady, but I learned so much because I was very much in that spirit in my youth of experimenting. I was doing experiment on myself. So I was trying different situations, I was trying different jobs, just to do the experiment, just to see if I can do that, but not be that, and then learn from it. So if we can keep constantly in the forefront of our life, self-realization or inquiry about the absolute truth, kamasya nendriya priti, loba jivata yavata, jivasya tadva vigyasya, nartayascha karmavi. This is Sutta Goswami in Srimad Bhagavatam, the 2nd chapter of the Srimad Bhagavatam. He said, all desire or our desire are not supposed to be directed towards sense gratification. So our desire, that's what we are speaking about, Ekeha, our desire. What's our desire? Was my desire to be a cleaning lady? No. My desire was to learn more about myself, to put myself in different situation, environment. And by doing that, I was learning about myself. I could see wow, that's not who I am. If there was another cleaning lady and she was a cleaning lady and she was happy there. It's not like I will be happy as a cleaning lady, but at the same time, that situation really helped me, know more about myself. And he said, Sutta Goswami said, one should desire only self-preservation. So it's not like we let go of ourselves. No, we want to be healthy. We want to give a minimum of our life towards health, self-preservation. This is really important because we want to take care of the car. If I have a car and I neglect the car, I don't change oil, I don't change the tire when the tires are used, and I don't take care of my car, then at one point or another, I'm not going to be able to travel anywhere. So that's the same thing. The body, we want to take care of the body because it's our vehicle. This is what we have in this lifetime towards self-realization. It said, Jivasya Tattva Vigyasa, because the goal of life is to inquire. That's the goal of life, to inquire about the absolute truth. He doesn't say to know about the absolute truth. He said to inquire. And the first aphorism of the Vedanta Sutra is Atato Brahma Vigyasa. And what that aphorism said is that now that we have obtained the rare human birth is very rare. There is 8,400,000 species of life, different dwelling, and only 400,000 are human from different species of humans. And we can see in every situation, all of us, we can see okay, here there is how many 4 humans, and I don't know how many germs there is around us. And I know that outside there is so many blades of grass, and there is anthill with millions of ants. So just in that little house where we are, we are so in minority. Human beings are so rare. It's so rare to take human form. So don't waste it. Prahlad Maharaj, 5-year-old, is speaking with his little friends at school, and he said, don't waste your human birth. Don't, spend your time uselessly playing. Just inquire about the absolute truth. So that's where we are in the Bhagavad Gita, where we are going to know. Now listen to the knowledge of yoga, whereby one works without futile result. O son of Pritha, when you act in such intelligence, again, it's intelligence. What means intelligence? The power of discrimination. The power of, intelligence means I make distinction. If I have a goal to go somewhere, or if I have a goal, I'm going to want to be a doctor, or I have any goal we have, then we are going to use our intelligence to make distinction. What distinction we are going to make? We are going to make the distinction. Is what I'm about to do favorable towards my goal and bring me closer to my goal? Or is what I'm doing going to take me away from my goal? So similarly, the 2 first items of surrender, they are connected with that intelligence, to accept what's favorable for my devotional service, my spiritual life, and then to reject what's unfavorable to my devotional life. O son of Pritha, when you act with such intelligence, you can free yourself from the bondage of work. So karma means work. So free yourself from the bondage of work, of karma, by really using our intelligence to see that everything we do, if we direct it towards self-realization, we are free. And then we experience ourselves free from fruitive activity, free from duality, good and bad. We get to experience ourselves in our true nature. And the true nature of the self is Sat Chit Ananda. Sat Chit Ananda. Sat means eternal, Chit means full of knowledge, and Ananda means full of bliss. And we are all pleasure-seeking entities, isn't it? We all want to have pleasure. And so it's natural for us to want pleasure. Why? Because it's our nature to be blissful. However, as long as we are seeking that pleasure in the realm of fruitive activities, in the realm of wanting to satisfy our senses or gratify our senses with the sense in contact with the sense object, we are going to create more and more entanglement, more and more bondage for ourselves, instead of the opposite, freeing ourselves. So that was, and so last week we dove into text 40, which is a very supportive text. In this endeavor, there is no loss or diminution, and a little advancement on this path can protect one from the most dangerous type of fear. So if we fix our mind on the goal, and the goal is self-realization, God realization, completely being absorbed in bhakti, in love of God, in service to God, then even so we may not be successful, even so we may fall. If we fix our mind there, any endeavor in that direction, any moment spent with God in prayer, any moment spent in self-realization, any moment spent in any practice that delivers us from this bondage of the body, is towards our eternal credit. And that's what we focused on in our last class. And then today's verse is, those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one, O beloved child of the crew. The intelligence of those who are irresolute are many branch. So if we are not resolute, then we are going to be carried away. We are going to see our life aimless, purposeless. Sometimes people, they think they have a purpose, like, okay, I'm going to become a doctor, for example. But then after a few years of practicing medicine, they are blasé. They are like purposeless. They are forgotten why they wanted to be doctors. So like any material endeavor will lead us to at one point or another feel purposeless, aimless. And as long as we can go, oh, I want to do that, or I'm interested by that, or that now and that. But that will lead us about nowhere. It's going to just Shrama Eva Ikevalam of Shrama Eva Ikevalam is like a useless waste of time, as Shuta Goswami says that too. Yeah. And so I just want to go back a little bit to the purport. So faith means unflinching trust in something sublime. So the goal of studying those books, the Bhagavad Gita, the Srimad Bhagavatam, the Chaitanya Charitamrita, the goal of hearing, gathering together, speaking about spiritual life, speaking about self-realization, is to really create more and more a sense of that goal. The more we define, like, okay, I can say, I want to go to France. Okay? So it's nice. And then I will work, do things towards going to France, maybe making money. But then little by little, I can read books about France. And then it becomes more clear, like, oh, okay, I want to visit Paris. I want to visit Marseille and Lyon, because that's where Malini is born. So it's very important. Anyhow. And then after, maybe I will find like, oh, there is parks that I want to visit, or there is activities I want to perform, or there is certain museum I like to visit. And then the more we do that, the more we create like a sublime idea of France, isn't it? Like the more we add to the details of our knowledge of France, the more we get excited, and we have faith that if I go to France, I'm going to have such a good time. So faith, again, is trust in something sublime. And I'm very amazed often by Srila Prabhupada's ability to use succinct wording to describe things that for most of us will be so difficult to encapsulate. And he has the power to encapsulate so eloquently concept, because from his perspective, from the perspective of a pure devotee, those concepts are natural, obvious. Like when we describe something to a child, something that maybe for the child is difficult to understand, 2 + 2 = 4. But for us, it's like, yeah, you have 2 rocks and you put 2 other rocks and you have 4 rocks. And for the child, it will take so long to imagine that's a way to understand that +2 is 4. But because for us, it's obvious, then we can show it to the child. So in a similar way, the pure devotee of the Lord, one who is a representative of God on earth, like we have Christ is a representative of God, they have the power to give us knowledge that will help us understand concepts that are very difficult for us to grab in our conditioned state, and to help us to free ourselves. So trust in something sublime. We want to build up that trust in the sublime life of spiritual realization. I'm going to stop here to have enough time for us to discuss. I'm going to read Sanskrit and English again of our verse today. Vyavasayatmika buddhi rekeha kunandana baushaka yanantascha buddhayo vyavasayinam. Those who are on this path are resolute in purpose, and their aim is one. O beloved child of the Kuru, the intelligence of those who are irresolute is many-branched. So if you have any comment, question, realization, experience, we want to open it to anyone who would like to share. Nick?
Hello, yes. Thank you for the association. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
I had a question about, I guess, a transformation in one's life. Like maybe we were down a certain path, but then it changed. Like addiction, for example. Because I did once believe that I was a drug addict and an alcoholic forever. But that changed completely, and I'm so grateful for that change. But that was like my belief system. Kind of like you said earlier, like you might think you want to be wealthy, but you're not destined for that. So I was thinking I was destined to be, die a horrible death of drinking or something like that. So I guess where does transformation fit in with that, like the path?
Thank you. I appreciate. So there was a point in your life where you were identifying as a drug addict, alcoholic and a drug addict. That was your identification. That's who you were. And there was no other identification anywhere. There was no other knowledge of any other path or any future. There was like no future for you, Nick. And, that's really not true for you now anymore. That's not how you identify yourself. And you went through transformation. Something really moved you. And I'm curious, what was your transformation? How did, because I think you're more equipped to answer your own question than I am. So
probably.
I met with you a few weeks ago. We met together, and I was so enlivened and inspired by hearing your spiritual journey. And I know you're not a drug addict. That's not who you are. You're spiritual, having a human experience, and drug addiction was part of your journey. So how did you transform? What was the transformation? What's happened?
Well, I guess it was just that humility and asking God for help. Because, I wasn't a drug addict before I was a drug addict or an alcoholic. I was a spiritual being having a human experience, and part of me knew that for sure. So maybe it was just part of the path.
Maybe. And there is a grand chance that it was.
Yeah,
And what
obviously
else
it
can
was.
it be? Yeah, yeah. So you're spiritual having a human experience. It's part of your karma, part of your journey. There was a period of time where you were identifying yourself as a drug addict, as someone with no future. And then somehow, maybe you hit rock bottom at one point or another, and that led you to pray and to humble yourself in front of God. And as you humbled yourself in front of God and you prayed to God, then God helped you. You receive grace and the help of God. That's the most transformational power in this world, is calling on God, calling the name of God. Chanting the name of God is the most transformational power that we have. And use that power, and you got yourself out. And like in terms of addiction, there is that process of the 12-step recovery, and that 12-step is so spiritual. It's based on spirituality. It's based on confessional, accepting first, coming to a place. I am an addict. I am addicted to alcohol. I'm addicted to drug. So that in itself, there is so much humility in that, and so much confessional and opening my heart and bearing my heart in front of God and in front of the people. And then, being able to amend and being able to forgive yourself, and then really accepting the grace of God, accepting the power of God, that is the only one who can help us. We can do some work of transformation, and however, that's limited too. The only thing we have is our sincerity of desire. If I desire God with sincerity, I desire God, then my journey is going to take me to Him. Yeah. Did I respond to your question?
Yes, that was beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah. So you're not identifying like that anymore. That's not who you are. And that's what.
But it never was. It never was.
Never. It was never who you are.
Right.
Absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. And it's something that, we all, in a sense, we're all addicted. We're all drunk and addicted.
Yeah.
Because if we don't identify like as a drug addict, we still identified as a woman. We identified as a person who need affection, a person who needs money, or a person who need comfort, or a person who need blah, 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 in order to be safe, or in order to feel happy. I need all that. So the drug addict thinks like, I need, my shots of alcohol, or I need my cocaine. But we are all in the same place. It's just the name is different, but we are all in that boat until we come to a place that I don't need anything in this world. There is nothing in this world that's going to give me shelter, safety, happiness, satisfaction, a sense to be loved, a sense to be cherished. Nothing in this material world is going to give me that. And I don't want anything from this material world. I only want you, Krishna. I want to serve you with love and devotion. I want to follow your pure representative on earth. I want you, Srila Prabhupada. I want you, Jesus. Give me Jesus. You can have the whole world, but give me Jesus. That's a song.
Wow. Thank you. That's beautiful.
Thank you, Nick. Anything else? Yes, Valerie. Valerie.
I feel confused on how karma and clear intention and be-do have all fit together. Because what you were sharing is that we don't have control over the results.
We don't. We are not entitled to the result of our work.
Yeah, we're not entitled to the
Clearly,
results.
in chapter 3 of Bhagavad Gita, and you know who speak it? Krishna.
And then I feel confused by that. So I was at the seminar this last weekend, and there was modules on clear intention and be-do have, and we get really clear about something. The material realm reciprocates, Krishna reciprocates.
Yeah.
And so I just feel confused on how can we live from being in clear intention and create our reality, and at the same time we're not creating our reality.
We are not creating our
in
reality.
control of the results. So how are these intention and be-do have fit into?
Fitting with like we are not entitled to the result of our work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wow. Thank you, Valerie, for your question. I really appreciate that. And in fact, it's right there, because if I am attached to the result, if I'm attached and I try to control it, anything I want to control is controlling me. So as long as I try to control the results, I'm going to be controlled by the results. So Krishna does fulfill our desire. He says that too. He does fulfill our desire. And if you listen very carefully about the be-do have or clear intention, you will hear some nuances about it. There is a lot of nuances about clear intention, because he said clear intention, does it guarantee a result? Does it guarantee a result?
No.
Then
We didn't say that. We did not say that.
So clear intention doesn't guarantee a result. However, what does clear intention do? It maximizes the chance of that result manifested. I'm showing up. I'm holding an attention. I'm consciousness in the result. And really, clear intention is based on the spiritual principle of desire. And clear intention at the core is a spiritual principle, because all process of Krishna consciousness, it's about clear intention and changing the quality of our desire. And when we change the quality of our desire, and our desire becomes fully 100% spiritual, then there is no material impediment that gets in the way to our spiritual desire. And then the clear intention principle, another part is that there is no obstacle, but there is consideration. And one consideration is that there is 5 factors of action. There is an endeavor, there is a person, there is a karma, there is a super soul. All that need to be, put into place to work together. And the principle of clear intention is, okay, I want something, I put my consciousness in the result. And because, spirit is more powerful than matter, then wherever I put my consciousness, that's what is growing. But doesn't guarantee a result, not. But what it maximizes the result, and also in consciousness in the result, there is no more obstacles. And that's the main point of the presentation in that seminar. I know that seminar very well. Mm-hmm. And the main point of that presentation is that when our consciousness is in the result, there is no more obstacles. And it's not like the obstacle like get handled, is it dissolve? They completely dissolve and they become consideration. So most people, when they approach a goal, what they do is that they put their consciousness, which is our spiritual strength. The symptom of the soul is consciousness. So our spiritual strength is consciousness. And most people approach a goal or an intention with putting their consciousness in the obstacle. And if I put my consciousness in the obstacle, then in a sense, I maximize the chance I will never achieve my goal, because where I put my consciousness is what grows. And what grows is I will only achieve my goal if I have enough money. So if I have enough money, that's what grows. Or if I have enough education or whatever, any of the obstacle. So in that clear intention, consciousness is in the result and there is no more obstacle, but it doesn't guarantee any result. And when it comes to be, do, have, yeah, the having is not also, like nothing about the be, do, have is saying, oh, if I'm being, because then it becomes fruitive. If I'm happy and powerful and dedicated, then I will do what I want to do, and then I will have what I want to have. So, but first I need to be happy. And so that come back to like, the have to be in reality. But in be do have, I am who I am. I am powerful. I am dedicated. I am dedicated, powerful, trusting, abundance. And then I will do naturally what abundant, dedicated, powerful people do. And then I will have what dedicated, powerful, abundant people have. And that having is just a feedback. It could be that I'm in a hut on the shore of the Ganges with a palm full of rice every day to eat. And I feel so abundant because nothing can take it away from me.
So when we're attached to the result, then we're more in the have do be. That's what you're saying.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I'm going to use clear intention to be attached to my result.
Right, because we're always, it's like thinking about the result, and it's always about how the result can serve us. And that's
if I'm not in clear intention is manifesting, putting our consciousness in the result, that there is no material impediment, and there is nothing separated but time between me and the result. But at the same time, as long as the result is connected with like, and then I will be successful, happy, maybe I will have friends, maybe I will pay my bill, then that's not clear intention. And it's not be do have. So did I respond to your question?
Yeah, it's stirring.
Okay, so it's time to end, unless there is a very quick question, someone? Comments? Okay. Bhagavad Gita ki jai. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Thank you for coming. It was really nice to be together and discuss Bhagavad Gita together.
Yes, thank you very much.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
You too.
Thank you, Amanda. Thank you, Nick, Marielle, Kanch. Hare Krishna.